Hi everyone, back with another video, random thoughts from Katie. So sometimes I have things that come to my mind from either that were inspired by either clients or friends or just things that I noticed in the fitness community or in my daily life. And one thing that I wanted to talk about today is why you probably should not compete on the bodybuilding stage, or why the majority of people probably should not. And so I wanted to talk about this as there's dark sides to every journey that someone is on, and there's a lot of unspoken things that happen in the fitness community, especially with bodybuilding and with fitness shows and figure and whatever it may be, bikini, where you go through prep, and you compete on stage and you reach a level of body fat that's very low. For me, I was like sub 8% body fat when I competed in figure, and I was sub 8% body fat for over a year and a half, which ended up having some health consequences for me, which was not good. I've talked about this a little bit before, and I can make another video on that too, and kind of some of the things that happened and how I rebounded from that, or how I overcame that, and how I'm in a healthier place now. It took some time. It's still taking time. I'm not, stepping on stage anytime soon as a result of putting my health first right now. So, some things that a lot of people just tend to forget or do not think of when they start prepping. I I am a strong believer that prep should not be something that you feel like you have to do. So a lot of times it's easy to get caught up in social media. A lot of times it's easy to see, your friends competing on social media and feel like I have to do that too. I have to find a show in order to give my fitness journey purpose. And that's 100% not true. You can be healthy. You're actually probably healthier if you don't prep. You can be healthy. You can be strong. You can be empowered. You can be all sorts of things in your fitness journey and be 100% just like you, and putting your health first without stepping on stage. You don't need to step on stage in order to have purpose in your fitness journey. You can do whatever the heck you want and still feel empowered, still feel fulfilled. Standing on stage, it might be something that is sort of looked as giving you purpose, or once I do this, it'll finally like give me this conclusion to my fitness journey, or whatever it may be. But really, your fitness journey should not have a conclusion. It should not have an end. So if you're looking to a moment on stage as fulfilling you, then you're completely wrong. A moment on stage should be something that you desire for yourself. If you really want to compete in bodybuilding, then absolutely do it. Find a good coach, find someone who's sound, who has had success themselves or success with their clients, who preps people through a scientific way, with macros, and not necessarily a restrictive meal plan. Although as macros get more popularity, there are coaches who say that they are macro coaches and say that they are science-based, when in reality they give you macros, but they are absolutely ridiculous. So I've seen a lot of coaches who maybe take advantage of the popularity that macros have gained, and then I hear what the macros that they give these girls, some people that I know, that if you're on 15 grams of fat per day and 30 carbs, then fire your coach right now. So just because your coach or someone says that they are a macro coach does not mean that they are putting your health first. So there is definitely a dark side to the fitness industry. If you have an eating disorder, or you have disordered eating, or you're struggling with binging or anorexia or bulimia, do not enter a contest prep. That is something that I would absolutely say. I've struggled with eating disorders in the past. I've struggled with anorexia. I've struggled with binging. I've never been bulimic or anything like that, but I have struggled in my past. When I entered contest prep in 2014, I think it had been 2 years that I had not binged. It had been 2 years since I had been on a consistent, solid off-season diet where I was eating in a slight surplus to put on muscle. And I was in a healthy state. I had a healthy relationship with food. I wasn't seeing food as good and bad. I wasn't labeling food as good and bad. I wasn't putting this, I don't know, you tend, especially if you have an eating disorder, it's easy to see food as having an emotional value, which obviously, you're never going to get rid of that fully if you've had eating issues, but seeing it as punishment or reward. So being able to detach yourself from that, that's a huge step. So when I entered contest prep in 2014, I had been 2 years where I had been on a solid eating, or not having any issues, so I felt like I was ready. A lot of times I see these girls who are currently struggling, or men, with binging, anorexia, bulimia, and then they think that entering a contest prep will fix them. No, contest prep will make any issue that you have worse. You will start to see yourself in a different light. When I was in contest prep at my very leanest, I remember looking at progress photos of myself and thinking, oh my God, I need to be leaner. Oh my God, my stomach's not lean enough, blah, blah, blah. I look back at those photos of myself now and I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? Like, I am actually, I'm probably literally 6% body fat, and I'm saying that to myself. And I'm like, what? Like, it changes the way you think of yourself. You will never see yourself the same. Before I did contest prep and I never reached a level of leanness, I was completely content with my body the way it was. I wanted to step on stage. I wanted to do it for myself. But ever since I reached that point of leanness, now anything above that, when I say it takes a long time to recover from contest prep, I mean it. Right now, it's 2016, November of 2016, and the last time I competed was July of 2015. It has taken me this long to finally be in a place where I'm about 18 pounds over stage weight, which a lot of that is muscle. I have gained muscle. I haven't just gained 18 pounds of fat. I needed to gain fat. You need to gain fat after contest prep to regulate hormones. And to get back at a healthier state and actually be a functioning human being with a period, which women a lot of times lose their periods during contest prep, which I did for a year. But it has taken me a year and a half to finally be in a place where I am content. It's taken over a year with my body and not contest lean. I've been happy with my body, gaining some weight, etc., but never at this place of being content. And I'm finally there. I'm finally like, wow, I appreciate my body for everything it is. And contest prep changes your perspective so much. It makes this new normal of being lean. I was excessively lean for a year and a half. That leanness was my new normal. So anything above that felt like fluffy to me, which is ridiculous. 13% body fat feels fluffy to me? Like, are you freaking kidding me? And that's the thing about contest prep that you have to be wary of. You can't go into it with if you have an issue and you think contest prep is going to fix something, it's absolutely not going to fix it. It's going to make any issue that you have magnified. This is why it's important to have a coach to be accountable to, a coach who, once you're done with your show, you should not be staying stage lean. It drives me insane when I see these girls, and I was in this position, so I can say it firsthand. When I see these pictures of these girls who are stage lean, and then 8 weeks later they compare photos of themselves and say, oh, I'm still stage lean. This is great. I'm still stage weight, and my food has increased. Well, no shit. It's because you're still in a deficit because you've been reverse dieting 5 grams of carbs per week and 1 gram of fat. You're the same weight, and yeah, that's because you were still in a deficit. You're not at maintenance or higher. You're not gaining body fat. And as a female, you need to gain body fat after a contest prep. If you lose your period, if your hormones are off, if your hair is thinning, which I experienced during my contest or during the time when I was excessively lean, you are not in a healthy state. You need to reevaluate and you need to reconsider, and you need to find a coach, or if you're working by yourself, you need to put on weight. Putting weight on after a show is not a bad thing, and that is something that women need to realize. Seeing the scale go up is not easy. It is not easy. I will be the first to tell you, but it is necessary after a contest prep, especially when you are sub 10% body fat. You should not be staying that for a year, which I did, so I know. And I was reverse dieting, so I thought, oh, I'm healthy because I'm eating more. Not necessarily. If you are still at a certain body fat and you're not having your period, your hormones aren't normal, you are not at a healthy state. So it really does drive me insane when I see these girls. Like, because I've been there and I understand, and I'm not judging them and I'm not saying they're bad. I have been there. I know firsthand what it's like. But you should, comparing these photos and saying, oh, 3 months later, I'm still stage lean, I'm still blah, 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 but I'm still tired and I don't have my period. And I'm like, yeah, because you need to put on some body fat. You need to put on some body fat. I still feel lethargic in the gym. Well, you need to speed up this process. If you're trying to stay at stage weight, that's not a healthy place to be for the majority of people. And so this comes from my own experience. So if you are looking to do a contest prep, you should be doing it for yourself because you want to do it. You should not be doing it because you feel pressured. Also, you should be taking in consideration having a plan and knowing that after contest prep, you do not want to stay stage lean. You want to focus on something else. Focus on your performance in the gym. And this is something that I am so just enthusiastic about and very passionate about, is women who are finally focusing more on their performance in the gym and being strong and being empowered. There's nothing like lifting a weight that you've never lifted, and feeling that empowerment that comes from it, and feeling strong and feeling beautiful in your skin without being this level of leanness that's not sustainable and it's not healthy. I've seen this movement that started where women want to be strong and they don't want to just focus on weight loss on the scale. They want to focus on gaining muscle. So that's encouraging to me, and that's something that I really want to promote in the fitness industry, and something that I really want to encourage women to seek for themselves. Find something that you love, as opposed to just focusing on how small you can be and how lean you can be. There is a time and a place for that. If you want to do a show, do it. But then after that, you need to have a plan. You need to get back on track. You need to get your health back. So for the majority of people, if you have an eating issue, it's only going to make things worse. It's only going to, or magnify them. So you need to establish consistency first and be in a healthy place. And not just jump into contest prep because you feel like all your friends are doing it and you feel like you need to do it. So this was just a little something on my mind, and I hope that it was, insightful for some of you guys, and especially those who do compete in bodybuilding or compete in figure or bikini or whatever it may be. I do have still a deep love for that process and for bodybuilding itself. And I will return to stage one day, but you do need to take in consideration, your life and the long term, and not just do it because you feel pressured to do it. And because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of consequences that can come from contest prep. The way you see yourself, your relationship with food, with your body image, that can be skewed significantly, especially if you're not prepared for it. So yeah, so I'm getting better at these videos. I've just decided to record when something comes to my mind. And so let me know if you guys have any video ideas below. I'm hoping to make maybe like a cooking video soon. I think that would be fun. A lot of people have questions about my Katie Ann brownies that I always make that are a bomb, just to let you guys know. And so maybe I'll film that or something similar of that nature. Still working on a low bar squat tutorial that should be soon to come. And yeah, so I will talk to you guys soon, and keep lifting heavy weight and kicking ass. And I'm getting better at this YouTube thing.